Today's episode is brought to you by the Tax Defense Group. Tax season is here, and that means that it's time to file your taxes. There's good news. If you're a W-2 employee, you can save half off your filing. All you have to do is call the Tax Defense Group before April 15th, 2020, and mention that you saw this ad on UCAS Studios. Millions of Americans will get money back after they file, and you can be one of them. Call the Tax Defense Group today at 800-850-7973. That number again is 800-850-7973. And you can visit them online at thetaxdefensegroup.com. Today's episode is brought to you by Writer Junkie. Are you looking to make more money in 2020? One of the best ways to do that is by having a new resume that can help you get that dream job. Writer Junkie offers affordable, well-written resumes for the low cost of $145. They'll even throw in a cover letter for no additional charge. All you have to do is mention that you saw this ad on UCAS Studios, and they'll get right to work. Call Writer Junkie today at 805-587-7966, and you can visit them online at writerjunkie.com. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another episode of the Lakers Outsiders Weekly Podcast. I am your host, Gary Kester, here with you as always. This podcast, as always, brought to you by UCAS Studios, the Tax Defense Group, and WriterJunkie.com. Man, I am recording this shortly after the Lakers just won a quote-unquote road game against the LA Clippers. Just an absolute statement the Lakers have made over the last 2 days, and I'm going to talk about that on this podcast. But as always, guys, before I get started, be sure to like this video if you are listening on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to UCAS Studios and Lakers Outsiders on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to them. Be sure to do that. You can follow Lakers Outsiders on Twitter and Instagram at Lakers Outsiders, and you can like us on Facebook, and you can follow me on Twitter as well at Gary Kester. That is GaryKester. Let's talk about these two wins for the Lakers. Man, the narrative with the Lakers coming into this weekend, I'm recording this, like I said, Sunday, about Sunday evening, shortly after the Lakers just beat the Clippers, and I'll talk about the Clipper game here in a minute. Let's talk about this Bucks game first, because coming into this weekend, the narrative was, the Lakers, earlier in the year, it was the Lakers can't beat good teams, right? They were beating up on some bad teams and really stacking up the wins, which made their record look nice. And, then they lost to Dallas at home right away, after all that talk, and everybody said, see, they can't beat good teams. And they started beating good teams, and then the narrative became, they can't beat the elite teams. They can't beat the Bucks and the Clippers, because we've seen them beat the Nuggets 2 times. We've seen them beat the Rockets. We've seen them beat the other elite teams, or really good teams, I guess. But we had not seen them beat the Clippers or the Bucks. They were 0-3, 0-2 against the Clippers, 0-1 against the Bucks, which I tried to contextualize the first Bucks loss because, that was at the end of a long 5-game road trip, the very last game of that road trip, and it happens. You're not going to deal with that in the playoffs. Like, if they meet in the finals, they both might be worn down a little bit from just a long playoff journey to get to the finals. But it's not at the end of a 5-game road trip where you haven't slept in your own bed for, 2 weeks or whatever. So didn't really look into that nearly as much. And the 2 Clippers losses, one was literally the first game of the year, so I took that with a grain of salt. And then the other one was the Christmas Day game, which was very frustrating because I thought the Lakers gave that one away. If you listen to the last episode where I talked about Dion Waiters signing, one of the questions that I answered was kind of about the Clippers and my confidence level with the Lakers beating them, and I was still very confident, and today showed why. But just going into this weekend, to hear all that talk that the Lakers can't beat the Bucks or the Clippers, and those are the 2 teams they're going to have to beat if they want to win a championship. And people really acted like a team with LeBron James and Anthony Davis could not beat the Bucks or the Clippers. No disrespect to the Bucks or the Clippers, they're both very, very good basketball teams. They're, contenders. Very well could either one could very well be NBA champions at the end of this year. They're both that good. But to act like the Lakers were just not capable of beating either of those teams was based on basically two games. The first game of the season against the Clippers is what it is. It was literally the first game that the Lakers had played together with a ton of roster turnover, new coach, and everything. So didn't really think much of it. The Christmas Day game was frustrating, but it is what it is. Lakers missed a bunch of wide open shots in the fourth quarter, and kind of gave that one away. But this Bucks game, what can you say about LeBron James? There was the little clip of Giannis Antetokounmpo, who I love, by the way, kind of putting the crown on his head when they were beating the Lakers in the first matchup this year, kind of like taking the torch or taking the throne from LeBron or whatever. It just seems like no matter how old LeBron gets, he's 35 years old, 17, 18 years in the league now, and 17 years. It seems like every time somebody's ready to take that torch from him as the best player in the world, he just shows you why you still have to really argue that he is the best player in the world. Giannis is unbelievable and very well could win MVP this year, but LeBron's making a pretty strong case, especially with these last two wins. And man, just a statement game. Giannis Antetokounmpo still had a great game. He had 32 points, 11 boards, 6 assists. It was just drastically different. In the first game, Giannis Antetokounmpo was 5 of 8 from the three-point line. This one, he was 1 of 6. That's a big deal. And the Bucks overall were 12 of 43. So the Lakers did a much better job defensively in this game. Slow start offensively. Only 19 points in the first quarter, but they really figured it out, especially in the third quarter. They scored 39 points. And LeBron, like I said, was just unbelievable. Just unbelievable in this game. To me, that was like playoff LeBron. That's the playoff LeBron that I think we're going to see this year, assuming that he's healthy, because just took his game to another level, and it was just like he wanted to make a statement. And he was tired of hearing the talk that the Lakers couldn't beat these teams, couldn't beat the Bucks and the Clippers and all that noise. LeBron, 37 points, 8 assists, 8 boards, 3 steals, unbelievable defensively. There were a number of times he got matched up on Giannis, and he really took the challenge head on and really made Giannis work for a lot of things. And LeBron didn't. The Lakers. The scary thing I think with these two games, especially the Bucks game, was the Lakers won by 10 points against a team with the best record in the league, and they shot 6 of 32 from the 3-point line. LeBron was 1 of 7. Kuzma was 1 of 6. Davis was 0 of 4. Like, they just shot poorly from the 3-point line and still were able to dig deep, tie game at the half, and they control. They were the much better team in the second half. And just a really, really impressive game for the Lakers, especially LeBron. Like I said, to me, he showed, like, you can certainly still argue that he's the best player in the world with that performance. Anthony Davis really struggled early in the game, was getting a lot of criticism, and it sounds like his teammates kind of let him hear it, and he responded. And I love that he took the criticism from his teammates and woke him up, and he responded. He finished with 30 points, 9 rebounds, a couple of blocks, got to the free throw line 11 times, hit 10. LeBron was 12 of 15. It's just those two were just dominant, and the Lakers are just kind of getting contributions where they're needed right now. In this game, only 3 players were in double figures. Kyle Kuzma had 11 points. He was the third guy in double figures, obviously outside of LeBron and AD, and he was 3 of 11, so didn't shoot the ball very well. Although I think Kuzma's doing, really since the All-Star break, I think Kuzma, as frustrating as he can be, missing a lot of these open threes, he is doing a much better job defensively and on the glass. He had 8 boards in this game, and he defensively on the glass was phenomenal against the Clippers as well, even though he still didn't shoot the ball really well. But man, when LeBron and AD bring their A game, I don't know. I don't know if a team can beat the Lakers if LeBron and AD play their best. That's my thing. I mean, they have to really shut down everybody else. But in this game against the Bucks, I mean, they kind of did. I mean, JaVale McGee, 2 of 5, 5 points. Avery Bradley, 0 of 5, 2 points. Danny Green, 2 of 6, 6 points. Markieff Morris hit 2 of his 3 shots, but only played 9 minutes, 5 points. Rondo, 5 points, 2 of 6 shooting. KCP, 4 points. Alex Caruso, 8 points, 3 of 5 shooting. So, the Lakers didn't get major scoring contributions from any third individual. It was LeBron and AD just going off and, getting little contributions here and there from everybody else. And this weekend, the Lakers' defense has been championship level. And if this team defends this way in April, May, and June, they'll be hoisting up the Larry O'Brien trophy when it's all said and done. If they play defense this way, I just don't think a team can beat them 4 out of 7 times. To me, it's all about the defensive end because I think LeBron and AD individually are too talented, but collectively, as a duo and as a pairing, they're just too tough to stop. Too tough to stop when they play the way that they're capable of playing. And I don't know. I was just blown away with what the Lakers did, not only in the Bucks game, but just overall this weekend. But the Bucks game, man, that was a matchup I just thought was going to be a really, really tough matchup for them. So I was really curious to see how they responded, and they just did a good job, man. Like I said, Giannis got his. He had 32 points, but the Lakers really made him work, I thought. And they just kind of limited all the other guys. DiVincenzo had a good game with 17 points, but Chris Middleton, you held him to 5 of 19, 2 of 10 from 3. That's huge. That's absolutely huge. Lopez had 13. Eric Bledsoe had 11. And everybody else was in single digits. The Bucks shot 41.6% from the field, and like I said, 27% from the 3-point line. That's getting it done. And if the Lakers play that way defensively, they are going to be insanely, insanely difficult to beat. And I love it. I love seeing them lock down teams because I think for the Lakers, they're a type of team that defensively, when they start to string together stops, I think it really gets their offensive game going, especially when you get those leak outs, those run outs where LeBron's throwing full court passes right on target to guys, whether it's JaVale, Anthony Davis, Kuzma, whoever. LeBron is so good at that, and I think when the Lakers are able to get stops, they can get out and run and get those transition buckets, and it just makes the flow of things much, much easier for them, and makes getting some good looks on offense a lot easier as well. So Bucks game in was so impressive by the Lakers. So proud of them for really responding to that challenge and avenging a loss where they got beat pretty good in that game in Milwaukee, and they kind of returned the favor in this one and looked really, really good, and LeBron was just sensational. Absolutely sensational. And if you're a Laker fan that still has not embraced LeBron James, I just don't know what you're waiting for. I mean, he's playing at an unbelievably high level right now, and I just don't. It's almost mind-blowing to me how somebody that's been in the league as long as he has, the mileage that is on his body, the age that he's at, and LeBron James is still playing at this high of a level. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And the Lakers are just blessed to have LeBron James, and we're going to look back, I think, at some point. I mean, maybe even now, but hopefully after a couple of championships, we're going to look back on the day that LeBron signed with the Lakers as just truly a special moment in this franchise's history. So, yeah, just unbelievable. All right, I'm going to move on to the Clipper game, which just happened, a little more fresh in my mind. So, I'm going to go over that. But before I do that, we are going to take a quick break and give you guys a word from our sponsors. Today's episode is brought to you by the Tax Defense Group. Tax season is here, and that means that it's time to file your taxes. There's good news. If you're a W-2 employee, you can save half off your filing. All you have to do is call the Tax Defense Group before April 15th, 2020, and mention that you saw this ad on UCAS Studios. Millions of Americans will get money back after they file, and you can be one of them. Call the Tax Defense Group today at 800-850-7973. That number again is 850-7973, and you can visit them online at thetaxdefensegroup.com. Today's episode is brought to you by Writer Junkie. Are you looking to make more money in 2020? One of the best ways to do that is by having a new resume that can help you get that dream job. Writer Junkie offers affordable, well-written resumes for the low cost of $145. They'll even throw in a cover letter for no additional charge. All you have to do is mention that you saw this ad on UCast Studios, and they'll get right to work. Call Writer Junkie today at 805-587-7966, and you can visit them online at writerjunkie.com. All right, let's talk about this Clipper game. Man, it was kind of a roller coaster of emotions. You know, the game, I think both teams started out a little sluggish, which was understandable. It was a 12:30 Pacific tip time, plus you have the time change with daylight savings. The clock's moving ahead an hour, so you lose an hour of sleep. I knew it was probably going to be a little funky to start there, and it kind of was. Both teams I thought were a little sluggish to start, which is understandable, but both really kind of got in the flow of things, and we started to see some high-level basketball. It was kind of teams exchanging runs, going back and forth. Lakers, I think when they started to get down early, they really kind of got back into the game with a couple of steals that led to layups, led to runouts. One of them, Avery Bradley, got teed up for, which I have a big issue with how I had an issue with how some of this game was officiated in general, but the technical fouls. Because Avery Bradley gets a layup over Patrick Beverley, and it didn't even look like he said anything. He just kind of gave him a look, like, just kind of giving it back to Beverley a little bit, who loves to talk trash, and he got teed up for it. And this was minutes after Marcus Morris fouls Anthony Davis and knocks him to the ground, and then stands over him and stares down at him and kind of flexes on him a little bit. That was no technical foul, though. I don't understand NBA officials sometimes. That really just irritated me, how you can have such a quick trigger on the Avery Bradley technical. Avery Bradley hardly ever says anything. I don't even know if he said anything on this, but they were so quick to give that to you, but when Marcus Morris stands over a player and taunts him when he just fouled him, no less, I don't understand it. And there were some stretches in this game I thought the whistles were a little inconsistent, but it is what it is. And the Lakers actually, I felt like it kind of flipped a little bit in the fourth quarter, which was nice. Lakers were in the bonus with 10:25 to go in the fourth quarter, but the Clippers still shot 9 more free throws. 28 of 37 for the Clippers, 24 of 28 from the Lakers. But the Lakers, kind of fought through. I think some frustrations, especially in the second and third quarter, with some of the whistles. I think there was a stretch where the Lakers got 3 or 4 fouls in the span of a minute. So, but they didn't let it frustrate them. We've seen that at times, I think, this year, where the officiating has frustrated them and kind of gotten them out of their games. Didn't happen this time. They were able to stay locked in and just keep defending at a high level. I know the point total in the second half, the Clippers scored 50 points, 28 in the third, but the Lakers it doesn't really tell the story, especially in today's NBA. Giving up 103 points as fast as teams play is not a big deal. Traditionally, you look at, 103 points, that's not great defense. But man, the Lakers played exceptional defense. Today in general, but especially in the second half and the fourth quarter. Held the Clippers to 22 points in the fourth quarter. Paul George, who had been lighting the Lakers up, I think was 0 of 2 in the fourth quarter, and the Lakers just completely shut him down. He finished with 31 for the game. He was really, really good. Kawhi Leonard had 27, and Montrezl Harrell was kind of a problem. He had 20 points. But the Lakers, man, I think the difference in the first two matchups and this one with Harrell, even though I thought Harrell had a pretty good game, he played 34 minutes, and he played a long stretch in the second half. But having a guy like Markieff Morris really, really helps against a guy like Montrezl Harrell, because Markieff is going to welcome that contact. He's going to give it back. He's a physical, tough player, and I'm so glad he's a Laker. I'm so glad he's a Laker, and he was free. Like the Lakers didn't have to really give anything up to get him, which is just great. Which is so great because he was better to me than Marcus Morris was today, and you know, or he was at least more impactful. Even when you look at the score, the box score. I mean, 4 points. You look at 4 points, 5 rebounds, and a block shot. You don't think of that as major contributions, but man, just his toughness, his presence on the floor gives the Lakers a lot of lineup versatility. I think to start the fourth quarter, Lakers actually went with LeBron and Markieff Morris at the 4 and the 5. With I think Kuz was out there as well. So that gives the Lakers some options in terms of switchability, just flexibility defensively and offensively, because those guys can all at least give you the threat of a 3-point shooter. Even though I don't really trust Kyle Kuzma right now as a 3-point shooter, but I love the lineup flexibility that Markieff Morris helps give the Lakers, and it allows Kuzma to play on the wing, which is more natural to him. And yeah, I thought he was really good. I mean, Marcus Morris today, 0 of 9 from the field. So 1 point. He had 1 point, and LeBron roasted him in the fourth quarter. Man, it was so beautiful to watch. LeBron just went right at that guy and kept getting to the rim at will in the fourth quarter. But I think, obviously Anthony Davis and LeBron were fantastic again. 28 points, 9 assists, 7 boards, and 2 blocks from LeBron. Continues to play pretty high-level defense. Anthony Davis, 30 points, 8 boards, 2 steals, 1 block. Again, those two were great. But really the surprising hero today was Avery Bradley. My goodness, he was fantastic on both ends of the floor. Really hounding guys defensively like he does, really getting after it. 24 points, 9 of 17 shooting. He hit 6 of his 12 threes. 2 steals. He was so good in this game. Had some moments where he forced up some bad shots. I felt like at least one of those was kind of a heat check, which is fine because he was shooting the ball very well from the 3-point line. And he was the X factor today. He was absolutely the X factor today. Kuzma did a really good job. He had 2 blocks and a steal, 10 boards, even though he missed all 4 of his threes. Like I mentioned with the Bucks game, the Lakers beat the Bucks by double digits and didn't shoot. I mean, they shot like crap from the 3-point line. And that was the case in this game. They were 10 of 35 from the 3-point line, 28.6%. Really, the only guy that shot well from the 3-point line was Avery Bradley. So, yeah, I'm just blown away by what the Lakers were able to do, not only today, but also the Bucks game this weekend was just such a powerful statement that this team can absolutely win a championship. They can beat whoever is in front of them. It's just a matter of the level of execution, how hard to play, all that stuff. They're certainly capable, and I think they erased all doubt about that by finally, getting wins over the Clippers and the Bucks. There's just no questioning it now. This team absolutely can beat whoever is in front of them. Not saying that they're guaranteed to do it, but they absolutely are capable of beating anybody, anytime, anywhere. So, just so impressed. Again, Avery Bradley today, man. It's got to feel good for him. Got to feel good for him because a lot of Clipper fans talk a lot of crap about him and about his play last year, and almost kind of go out of their way to highlight when he plays poorly. So he gave it back to him today, and I love to see that. He was fantastic, really, really good. And some of these other guys, Rondo, I'll give some credit. I thought in the first half he was awful. He was absolutely awful in the first half, and I didn't want him to see the floor again in the game. But in the second half, I thought he actually had some good minutes. He ended up with 7 assists. He started to find some guys. He found Bradley on 2 threes. I remember he found KCP on a 3 as well. Hit a couple of layups, a couple of shots around the basket. So Rondo played much better in the second half, so I'll give credit where credit is due. He had 22 minutes today. I still would not like to see that as a trend moving forward, but it is what it is. I mean, he did some good things today. Dwight Howard only played 7 minutes. This was interesting. I thought Frank Vogel, even though there was some room for improvement, I thought did a good job today, really limiting the 2 big lineups for the Lakers. which kind of allowed them to be a little more flexible. Markieff Morris had 16 minutes. Kyle Kuzma had 22 minutes, and that just allowed the Lakers to do a lot of different things defensively and offensively and really match up a little better with the Clippers. The Clippers are a team that I think the Lakers are going to need to have AD at the 5 a little more. And when they don't, I think you've got to have – well, and there's going to be certain lineup combinations that you can do this anyway, but I really like having Anthony Davis on Kawhi Leonard. I just really do. Kawhi's probably still going to get his, but that's just such a tough matchup with Davis's mobility, his length, his defensive prowess, just everything. He just makes things very, very difficult. So this was encouraging. I was, like I said on the last episode, I was still very confident the Lakers could beat the Clippers, and I think the narrative would be very, very different about this matchup if the Lakers didn't just give away the Christmas game. They'd be 2-1 against this team, with the one win being on opening night. So Laker fans should feel a lot more confident about this matchup, assuming they meet in the Western Conference Finals, because I think they will. You got to feel confident. You got to feel confident about this team in general after the last 2 games that they've had, beating the Bucks and the Clippers, while really not playing, I think, their best basketball. Like I said, the 3-point shooting can get a whole lot better. 44.8% overall from the field. I thought the Lakers were a little clunky at times on offense in this game, but still ended up with 112 points and scored 63 in the second half against a fully healthy Clipper team, who everybody has been telling us that a fully healthy Clipper team can't be beat, because they were 8-0 or 10-0 or whatever the hell it was. There's nothing else you can say, I think, about this Laker team, really. We're just going to have to wait and see in the playoffs now. There's no more narratives. This team has shut up all the narratives. First it was they couldn't beat good teams. Then it was they couldn't beat the elite teams. What else can you say now? What else can you say now? Right now they're 7 games up on the Clippers in the loss column with 20 games to play. And if you guys look at the Lakers' last month of their schedule, I would be absolutely stunned if the Lakers don't hold on to the 1 seed. The next, let's say 4 of the next 5 are tough. They get the Nets at home. They should win that game. And then they get the Rockets at home, Nuggets at home, and then a home and home with Utah. They go to Utah and then get Utah at home. After that, I know it's a long road trip, but it's Charlotte, Detroit, Toronto could be tough, but Cleveland, Washington, Minnesota, and then they come home for really, they don't leave the state of California for, 2 weeks. Indiana at home, at Sacramento, OKC, Golden State, Chicago, the Clippers, Minnesota, and the Kings all at home. So, and then they finish at Phoenix. I think a lot of those April games aren't going to matter, because I think the Lakers are going to clinch with, if I had to guess, maybe 7-8 games left. And so they can start to rest guys and really focus on just getting healthy for the playoffs. Maybe they go after the number 1 seed overall, or home court advantage over the Bucks, because Milwaukee, as I'm recording this, is down 7 in the fourth quarter to Phoenix. Giannis Antetokounmpo might be out about a week or so. So if they lose today, they would only be 2 games up on the Lakers in the loss column. So it's within striking distance, especially if Giannis Antetokounmpo has to miss time. So, incredibly encouraging weekend. I'm fired up about the Lakers getting these 2 wins. All Laker fans should be. And, it's looking like they're pretty much a lock to get that 1 seed in the Western Conference. And it's just going to be a matter of how the other seeds shake out. So that'll be really, really interesting to see. But, man, this team showed championship character and championship toughness and just a championship level of play, especially in these last 2 games. And just beautiful to watch. Just absolutely beautiful to watch. So let me know what you guys thought about these last 2 games. I know you guys got to be as fired up as I am. So let me hear it. Drop it in the comments on YouTube. You can leave it in an iTunes or Apple Podcast review. All that stuff. Let me hear it. You can tweet at me at Gary Kester. Yeah. All right. As I mentioned at the start of the podcast, guys, be sure to like this video and subscribe to UCAS Studios and Lakers Outsiders on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. And then you can follow Lakers Outsiders on Twitter and Instagram at Lakers Outsiders, and like us on Facebook and follow me on Twitter at Gary Kester. I'm getting out of here. I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my Sunday, and I'm still buzzing off of that win, off the last 2 wins. Beating a Clipper team that was mowing through the competition, man. Like I said, there's just nothing else you can say. They had blowout wins against 4 teams that would be in the playoffs if they started today. Clippers were playing at an extremely high level, and the Lakers played, on the Clippers' home court, and just dominated the second half. So impressive, and I'm just proud as hell of this team, man. I'm ready to finish these last 20 games strong, get into the playoffs, and let's do some damage. So, alrighty, I'm getting out of here. Appreciate you guys listening. I always appreciate the support. Go Lakers, and until next time, this is Gary Kester with the Lakers Outsiders, signing off.